My gal Gail has it, Roland said, pointing towards the brunette who was on her knees near the back of the ship. The woman had several wires poking out of her arm. The wires were connected to the ship. She's trying to hack into the ship and open it up. Oh yeah. Did you run into any giant crabs? The space cadet asked. Yeah, Roland said, mentally kicking himself. He had almost forgotten about them. What the heck is up with them? I couldn't tell you, but they are tough, Kelly said, recalling her battle with them. My sword and a laser cannon are the only thing that could kill them. Roland nodded. Kelly walked around the ship and saw that the men had made posts around a tunnel nearest the ship. And the remaining orbs were illuminating the space around the soldiers and ship the best they could. When Kelly appeared next to Gail, her eyes fell on the prosthetic. I lost it during a mission. I took a laser blast to it. Tore the thing up really badly, Gail said, not looking up from her work. I'm sorry, Kelly said suddenly. I didn't mean to stare. Don't worry about it. I like this a lot better than my old one. Why do you say that? Because my arm was weak. I couldn't toughen it up. I lost it and got a new one. It's like having one bad eye and having to wear glasses for both your eyes. Even the good one. Lose the bad eye and you don't have to wear glasses anymore. Kelly nodded, but would rather keep both eyes even if one was bad. After a few more moments, Gail stood. I got it. Kelly took her place in front of the entrance and removed her sword. Roland took his place near her. He was brandishing a laser pistol. Get ready, he muttered. Now. Gail activated the ship's door, then pulled the wires out of her arm and backed away. As the doors opened, Kelly was the first to spot two small figures. Put your weapons down, Kelly commanded. She struck the earth with her sword, keeping it upright, and removed her uniform's jacket. Underneath the jacket, Kelly wore a white t-shirt and a shoulder holster. Reaching into her jacket, Kelly removed her data disk, laser pistol, and her sword sheath. Placing the circular sheath on her shoulder and placing the laser pistol into its holster, she shoved the data disk into her pants pocket. The two forms were children. One was a boy, the other a girl. Both looked to be 5 or 6 years old. They had silver hair and bright blue eyes and both were naked. Kelly instantly remembered the boy they had seen before. Wrapping her jacket around the girl, Kelly reached for the boy, but he kept his distance. It's okay, baby, Kelly said, hoping to coax the boy forwards. Roland entered the ship and picked the boy up. Where the heck are these kids coming from? He wondered. Kelly glanced around the inside of the ship. I don't know. This has to be an escape pod. Maybe, wherever they came from, I don't know, they got into some trouble and the parents blasted them to the nearest planet. It must have been a wild shot. Or they aimed and missed our planet, Roland said. Kelly picked up the girl. Hey baby, she said, looking into the girl's eyes. She saw tears were draining down her cheeks. Even though she was crying, she smiled. What's wrong? Kelly asked, hugging the girl close to her chest. Kelly looked at the boy. He was crying too, but he wasn't smiling. You too. Take the kids to the tank. Keep them away from. Roland stopped. He wasn't sure, but something told him the boy they had discovered earlier was probably their brother. Keep them away from you-know-who. Two soldiers moved into the ship and took the kids. Kelly turned on her heels and spotted a port where they could jack into the ship's computer. Gail, look. Kelly said, pointing at the port. Gail entered the ship. Give me 10 minutes and I'll have the ship started to tremble. Don't tell me, Roland began, as he ran from the ship. Kelly followed close behind him. The ground exploded and large crabs appeared, roaring and stretching their claws high into the air. Kelly took up her blade. Everyone get out of here, Roland commanded. The soldiers didn't waste time as they headed towards the tunnel. Gail, you too. Ken, Gail said from deep within the ship. We came here for the data. I don't care about the data. Get out of here, Roland demanded. No. Gail. Roland's hands started to shake. What would I do if something happened to you? Dock my pay, I guess. Gail. Roland. Kelly said, running up to the commander. Come on. It's nothing we can't handle. As Kelly spoke, several more crabs smashed their way through the cavern's walls. Bang! Bang, bang. The soldier Kelly had fought with before appeared and began firing his laser cannon at the emerging creatures. Kelly smirked beneath her mask. Jumping at the nearest crab, she sliced its body cleanly in two and made her way towards the nearest crab. The crab she attacked threw its third claw at the space cadet, but Kelly easily dodged it. In two slices the claw came off and a large hole appeared in the top of its body. Roland cursed under his breath. "Fine," he said to Gale. "But once you're done, get out of here." "Fine," Gale said, nodding. Even though her voice was filled with confidence, she was uncertain if she had made the right decision. "He loves me," thought Gale, blushing heavily. I knew it. Roland fired his laser pistol at a crab, but his blast did nothing more than irritate the creature. Instead, he watched helplessly as Kelly and his man continued to fight the creatures. "Roland!" the soldier screamed, pointing at the far side of the room. Several strange-looking lizards appeared. The lizards were 7 feet long and stood 4 feet tall. They were bright green in color and had strange yellow eyes. The creatures roared and sniffed the air. Roland aimed his laser pistol at them and fired. The first blast struck one of the creatures in the chest, killing it instantly. Finally, Roland breathed and began firing rapidly at the creatures. Kelly jumped from one crab and sliced it in two. As she landed, another appeared before and in front of her. Jumping over the crab in front of her, she stabbed the creature in the top of the head and twirled in the air. Her feet landed against the wall, and the instant they did, she kicked off and sliced the last crab. Just as she landed, she saw something moving towards her from the corner of her eye. She moved backwards just in time to see a green lizard leap past her. Its claws ready to strike, its maw open and filled with razor-sharp teeth. Kelly cleaved the lizard's head clean off and reached for her laser pistol. Firing several rounds at the lizards, she saw her attack was actually doing some damage. "Gale, give me some good news," Roland shouted over the fight. "Almost got it. 2 more minutes," Gale shouted back. Kelly stood her ground and continued to fire at the lizards. More and more emerged from the tunnels the crabs had created. "Come on," Kelly thought bitterly. The more she took down, the more appeared. Roland and the soldier fired as fast as they could, but the task seemed to be in vain. It was then Roland had an idea. "Hey, fire at the ceiling." Kelly and the soldier did and questioned the order. Aiming their weapons skyward, they fired at the ceiling. Rocks and other debris began to rain down onto the lizards. Boom! Dozens of boulders crashed through the ceiling, smashing the creatures. A plume of smoke mixed with dirt burst into the air. When the smoke cleared, the lizards were gone. Kelly laughed as she holstered her pistol and sword. "Good call," she announced. "I am no space cadet, but I try," Roland teased. "Me too," said the soldier, his voice cracked as he spoke. Kelly turned towards the ship, but a sharp pain struck her back. Looking down, she saw the tip of a crab's claw protruding from her chest. "No!" Roland roared. A partially dead crab had struck the space cadet, but before Roland or anyone could do anything, it struck the ground dead. Kelly fell forwards, blood seeping down her shirt. "Gotcha!" Roland said, catching the space cadet before she fell. Ah, Kelly moaned in pain. "You're okay," Roland said, nodding several times. "We need to get you to the tank." Too late, Kelly breathed, blood was leaking down the sides of her mouth. "Do me a favor, okay? Contact the space cadets. Get in touch with a man named Marcus. Tell him what happened. Give him my sword and laser pistol." "I will," said Roland. Kelly reached into her pants pocket and removed the data disk she had showed everyone. Activating it, the picture of her holding her son Dexter appeared. "Sorry, baby," she muttered so low Roland hardly heard her. Kelly closed her eyes. She was gone. "Darn," Roland cursed. Taking the data disk from Kelly's hands, he stuffed it into his pocket. "Gale," he said, his voice was hollow. "I am done." "Let's get," Gale began, emerging from the ship. She saw the space cadet lying on the ground covered in blood. "Oh no,"